It's time.
Today's the day that all the world will see. Another sunny afternoon, walking to the sound of my fame.
So what's the story with this What's the Story Morning Glory album? It's the greatest album of all time, that's what it is. But in case you didn't know that, I'm going to provide you with some factoids and details on why it is, because I don't like spouting out information without it being factually accurate.
I'm the one that brought back football.
Morning Glory was the 1995 follow-up to Oasis's 1994 debut album, Definitely Maybe, and is, by historical accounts, probably what was one of the most anticipated follow-up albums of all time. Some nice people are asking me to leave the field behind me. I'm gonna have to get going before they call the cops. When Oasis went into the studio at Rockfield in Wales, they had 6 weeks to record their album. They took 3 weeks to record the entire thing. One of which was a vacation that they'd all taken because they'd gotten to an altercation, the Gallagher brothers, and decided to take a week off to blow off some steam. 2 weeks were actually spent recording the album, and then the other 3 were spent, well, you can guess it, they were probably mucking around doing rock and roll stuff. So that means that this album, with all of their monstrous hits, was recorded within 12 days. 12 days. Now, this album was such a colossal feat. They had 6 singles from this album. Some might say Roll With It, Wonderwall, Don't Look Back in Anger, Morning Glory, and Champagne Supernova. Let me give you some context as to why this is such a big deal. Many of the classic albums in rock and roll's canon did not have nearly the amount of monstrous, face-melting singles than Oasis's What's the Story Morning Glory. For instance, Led Zeppelin IV only had 2 singles. Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, 2 singles. Joshua Tree comes close with 5 measly singles. What's the Story Morning Glory gave birth to 6 rock and roll hits that would dominate the radio throughout the 1990s and 2000s. This album was so monumentally biblical that it beat out U2's biggest album in the single count, and it holds the record for the 5th best-selling album in the UK of all time. And it was also the best-selling album in the 1990s in the UK. Take that, Blur. And so I'm sure by this point I have convinced you to be the biggest Oasis fan that you could possibly be. So what do now? You further indoctrinate yourself. Have a go on oasisinet.com. You'll find everything you need to fix your low dopamine and your low serotonin levels. They've got music videos, pictures, historical facts, Liam Gallagher's eyebrow, and they have gifts for your niece, your daughter, your dog, your pet fish. Shit, they have stuff for your grandma. You can buy t-shirts, you can buy cassette tapes if you're still in 1985. You can buy CDs if you're still stuck in 1999. They have vinyl records if you were into vinyl before it was cool. They even have deluxe box sets with vinyl, CDs, tapes, and t-shirts. t-shirts, all in one package. If you're planning on leaving a giant pile of shit for your kids to clean up after you die, you can get a coffee cup that asks your family and friends where they were while you were getting high. And if that wasn't enough, you can get a t-shirt that asks your family, friends, and random strangers where they were while you were getting high. So the whole point of this is to wish What's the Story Morning Glory a happy 25th birthday. And as humans do, we love our "you've reached that age" milestones. So, what can this album do now that it's 25 years old? What's the Story Morning Glory can now officially order a drink in Delhi. That's right, you have to be over 25 years old in order to order an alcoholic beverage in Delhi. It can hire a car abroad. It can volunteer for the UN. It can also join the Pony Club. And lastly, it can join the Indian Merchant Navy. That's right. What's the Story Morning Glory is about to embark on a quest almost as epic as the Crusades. It's going to sign up as a volunteer for the UN. It's going to join the Indian Merchant Navy. It's going to do all of it at the Pony Club with a sweet gin and tea in Delhi, but not before it hires a car to get there. So, if you want to learn more about this 15-time certified platinum album, please check Wikipedia because I'm all out of facts and opinions for you today. It's a great album. Go check it out. It's 25 years old today. Till next time, I gotta get out of these clothes.